Thank you, everybody who's joining us or who will join us on Diversity Chats, where we bridge the gaps of diversity and destroy ignorance before it destroys another life. Today, I have two guests with me today. Guests, if you could, please introduce yourselves. Let us know what you're up to in the world.
So, I'm Candace. And I'm Maria. And we are in California, born and raised in Southern California. And right now we're both pursuing our master's in social work. Yes. Passionate about cultures, diversity, social justice, and travel. We're twins. And so we are very close in our twin connections. And yeah, that's where we're at right now. At least a little overview.
Sure. It's dope. Glad to have you guys on here. How about this? What's your age?
We just turned 28 on the 8th of September.
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
And then little question I always ask is, what ethnic group do you identify as?
Wow. I mean, I think we identify as mixed race because we are mixed race, but if we identify more as Black, yes, but we are mixed.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. You guys are raised by both parents?
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. And how does one decide, like, identifying more one or the other? Like, how does that go?
That's a really good question. For us, it's been a journey, and it's been going back and forth between the two, because I think in both of our experiences, we've had many talks about this. It was like, you kind of feel like you're trying to identify what box you fit into. Should I be more on my white side about things or black side about things? And then on top of that, there's different layers of culture that you have a part of your identity of who you are, and you are just trying to figure it out. I think that was challenging, but we're realizing more and more there's no cookie cutter way of presenting yourself, and that being of mixed race, you can give yourself permission to love all facets of yourself, and what speaks to you, that is a part of your value system. That's who you are. Yes.
We've been influenced by both sides of our family. We grew up with our mother's side and our dad's side. Our dad's Black, our mom's white. And we're close with both sides. And so we've been raised by both sides. But when it comes to identity, I think we both definitely identify more with our Black side, because if you look at us, we have Black features, we have Black hair, we have darker skin. So if someone looks at us, they're not going to say, oh, look at those white girls. We're obviously not white, even though we're half. So, people are more likely to physically identify us as Black because we have, Blacker features. And so, and I want to add to the experience of being Black in America as well, because it's a real experience, especially depending on where you grew up. For us, we grew up in a predominantly white culture and environment. Nothing wrong with that, but that's just the reality, right? So we grew up in that. We didn't see many representation images, positive images and representation of our features in society and in our own community. And that has a profound influence on us, or it had a profound influence on us. And I know that is such a relatable experience in the Black community. And that's why we feel so deeply connected to our roots, to our Black ethnic culture, because of that. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very helpful.
I'm also curious, what you would say to your 5-year-old or your 11-year-old self that may have been struggling with identity, because there might be people here that can relate to that are still struggling, and they could be in their 20s or 30s or 40s, and they're mixed race too, and not necessarily just maybe black and white. They might be black and Asian or something like that, and they're struggling to accept themselves, or they might not even be mixed race. But I feel like you can speak specifically to that. Identity is always that struggle. What would you say to yourself?
Wow. Well, if we're talking to our formal 5-year-old selves, like, we would just, like, okay, I would say our hair journey, our natural hair journey, kind of speaks of our journey of loving and accepting ourselves. It's like a parallel experience for us. Like, as we grew to love our hair and accept it, like, we grew to love who we are and how we were created. And I think for us, like, yeah, when we were 5, we wanted hair that was straight. We chemically straightened our hair. We thought we had to, like, have a style that was, like, socially acceptable. You know what I mean? We didn't learn to love, like, our look. And like Maria was saying about the images, we didn't grow up seeing black Disney princesses. I'm so glad that the world is changing and showing more diversity. I'm so happy that young brown-skinned girls, they got a song. Beyonce got the song out. Like, there's so much more affirm affirmation in your identity as a brown-skinned girl, and in with your hair, with your skin, with everything. So I think I definitely wish my 5-year-old self had those songs, like Brown Skin Girl, had the Disney princesses to look up to, just as an example of, like, you are beautiful. And we were told we were beautiful, but I think we needed to specifically hear your dark skin is beautiful, your afro hair is beautiful, not just you're beautiful. You have to specifically affirm those features that society doesn't. You need that extra. Okay. You need it from somewhere. So I think we would, just
be specific. I think she hit it right there. Just being specific in saying that your unique features are beautiful, and that every person's unique features is beautiful. But when you don't see yours recognized as beautiful in society, it's that much more imperative to be intentional about speaking that life and truth to who you are. So as a parent, as somebody who is raising someone who is of a unique ethnic identity and minority in society, it's that much more imperative to speak affirmation on their unique features. And I think that just speaks volumes, and just it fills them in a good sense of self. It builds that confidence and that sense of self.
Very cool. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. This is coming through a little choppy for me, but I hope it's coming through clear for the recording, because those are really excellent points. I appreciate that. I love that, the unique features, like your black is beautiful, or your, whatever is beautiful. And then I know Zakia wanted to know, how has your upbringing affected you both socially?
Well, I can start by saying that socially, it affected me by feeling like, kind of what I was saying before, what box do I fit into? Because in our high school and middle school, it was very cliquish. It was very segregated. It was like, here are where the blacks hang out. Here are where the Asians hang out. Here are where the Mexican Latinos hang out. And then here are where the loners and misfits hang out. And so on and so forth. And it's like, okay,
it's
so
like
where do we fit? And I remember feeling like, wow, like, I'm not black enough to hang with the black folks, and they know it.
And we're not white enough to look white either. So it's like this weird thing. Like, because that's the thing too. Like, we also, like, I mean, our friend group was pretty diverse though.
Yes.
Like, but we didn't have, like, close Black friends till we got older, and that was the thing, is we kind of felt like we weren't Black enough, and we kind of received that from not everyone, but some. Like, you know, you had to look a certain way, act a certain way, or whatever. So I think that definitely affected us socially, where we kind of felt like, where do we fit in?
Yes.
And then, of course, you get older and cliques go away, and things that you thought about yourself start to go away. You mature, you learn to love yourself. You learn that, like, your social world doesn't dictate who you are, and you do, and you're able to grow from that. And, you know, we, of course, we have such diverse group of friends, and I mean, now we connect, of course, with everybody. But it was great to start building relationships with Black friends and Black female friends.
That was actually
Because
very
we could-
significant.
It was.
It was very significant for us. There's just something unique about connecting to people that, I guess, understand your struggle, like understand the unique struggles that you have as a person of color. And just being able to uplift each other, where it's easy in this community to tear each other down. And it's just a beautiful thing. So I think that was something special for both of us to have experienced when we got a little bit older.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you for answering that. I do remember y'all on your natural hair journey, like switching over, and I love seeing how it's evolved. It's very, very uplifting.
Thank you.
Really excited about that from you guys.
Thank you. And same with you.
Yes.
We love your natural hair. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Bigger the better.
Yes.
Okay. And y'all come from a relatively big family as far as your siblings are concerned, right? Like, did you know how many siblings do you guys have, and like, was that a support?
There were 6 of us, so we're 6 kids, 3 boys and 3 girls, and me and Maria are like in the upper or the older range. So we have an older brother, and then it's us, and then the 3 younger ones. So I guess we just grew up always having fun with our siblings, running around outside. We had the whole Rugrats or Rocket Power childhood, you know, out on our bicycles. We were the ones in the neighborhood with the basketball hoop, and the neighbors are coming over, and all, like, you know, my siblings' friends mixed with our friends, and we're all, you know, I think with our siblings, we just grew up always having fun, always outside and swimming and just doing activities.
Yeah.
But and of course, there's a lot of support. I notice, though, now that we're adults, we are uplifting each other and talking in ways that we never did before. Like, we're like trying to encourage each other with our investments and finance, and like our brothers will send resources to us, teach us about stocks, or teach us about, you know, we want to see all of us succeed. So when one has knowledge, they're sharing it. Like our other brother, he's been sharing lately, like, about health tips, and just like, yeah, how to take care of yourself, what you put in your body, and breathing techniques and mindfulness. Like, it's cool that we're sharing this stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that me and my sister would usually share with each other, because we're just so close. But like, we've always like been into sharing whatever we're into. But now with our siblings, instead of just like hanging out as kids, now we're like, oh, let's share life. Let's have deep talks. Let's talk about stuff.
Be more intentional.
You know?
Be more intentional. I think as we've matured, our relationships with each other has matured. It's always been a very close relationship, but it's just kind of blossomed beautifully as we are maturing into our adulthood stages in life, and we are lifting each other up and pulling each other up, and we always reflect how grateful we are to have that. We understand not everybody has that, and we just are so blessed and so thankful for that.
Yes. That's really cool. Yeah, to have more support, like your siblings there for you, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Spain. Like, how did that happen, and how long were y'all there, and what did you experience? I love all the salsa videos and stuff.
Okay, so for you guys that don't know, I went to Spain for 3 years, and I lived abroad in Madrid, and I went there to teach English. And Maria got to visit me while I was living there, and then we also, once I had moved back home officially, we went back together to visit Spain again, like 6 months later. So Maria's been there twice, and she's got to go to like several different like cities within Spain. We did this whole big like Euro trip when she came. We did like Spain, Portugal, and then when we went back the second time to Spain, we hit London, we hit the UK, and then Spain. So it's been really fun, and I'm in love with Spain. I cannot say anything bad about Spain. Like, I had such good experiences with the people, the culture, the food, the lifestyle. I could go on and on. What about you?
Oh wow. It's amazing to experience a different culture and see how it's different in ways that you can appreciate in comparison to your own country, you know? And I think for us, we've always been drawn to community, you know, people that really are just in communion with one another, support each other. Like, I don't know about you, but I think it is kind of common in America to not really know your neighbor. And I think as generations, you know, come about, like, it's more common to not know your neighbor. And little things like that where you see it playing out differently in different cultures. So in Spain, for example, it's like you knew your neighbors and you would invite them over to dinner on a Wednesday. Like, that's not uncommon, you know? And you would have dinner.
The community is so tight.
It is.
And like, the community as in like a neighborhood, the community as in the family unit. The family unit is so tight as well. Like, you know, in America, we're a bit more individualistic as a society. So it is definitely different. And like, even just like in America, you know, you're living at home. If you're living at home, like, if you're a certain age and you're still living at home, it's like taboo. It's like shame. It's like, why are you not out of the house on your own, independent? But yet in Spain, it's like normal. It's like no rush. I mean, it's just a totally different mindset.
Yes.
A totally different way of being. So yeah, we definitely saw differences there, and also just it's super cool taking public transportation everywhere. I did not miss having to drive. I did not miss that. For 3 years, taking the bus everywhere, walking everywhere. I loved walking to get my groceries. I loved it. Like, the littlest things made me so happy there. Like, that was just so cool. I love that.
And I want to say, there's this phrase, right? No pase nada. No pase nada.
No
and
pasa
it's,
nada.
oh gosh. Okay. No.
No pasa nada.
There it is. And that kind of is symbolic to the culture, the paradigm and worldview that Spaniards have.
It basically is like, no worries.
Yeah, and I want to say, there's this phrase too, that it's like, you either work to live or live to work, right? They work to live. They embrace like having a life that is full and enriched in experiences and connecting with people and finding beauty in people and nature, and really being able to harness those moments and cherish them and value them. Whereas, again, you know, American culture, if you're not careful, you can be sucked into this whole like kind of corporate world, this world of, you know, you live to work. It's so difficult to have a vacation. If you do want to take vacation, your employers are like shaking their heads or they're not wanting to give you that. It's almost like you're selfish and you can't do that. Whereas in Spain, their culture is, oh no, you need to take a vacation. Like it is, you have to. Like,
They look at you wrong if you're not like taking a proper vacation too. And I mean, they'll go for like anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. You know, it's like no big deal,
and it's not shamed upon. So those, you know, different things that we touched
they
upon.
set good boundaries between like work and life. You know, they really know how to enjoy. It's awesome,
And we love it. We love seeing that. We love experiencing that. And that is something that even if you aren't in Spain, like we're here in the United States, and we can embrace that and choose to live it for ourselves. But if you're not exposed to that, maybe you don't know there's other ways to live. There's other perspectives to embrace and how you choose to live your life. And it's very empowering.
Yeah, I love that. Oh, I'm so jealous right now. Oh my gosh. I'm going to Spain, man. I'm going to Spain. Get me out of here. Force me to take a vacation, boss. Please.
Right? Hey, your time's coming. Your time is coming, and we will hop on that plane with you, girl. We will.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm so for that. Yeah, like Zakia is saying, just get out of your country. I feel super connected to what y'all already said. So I guess I just need to go to Spain real quick.
Yes.
But that is so cool. I love it. It's weird how American culture is so work until you just retire, and maybe you survive long enough to actually enjoy your life after retirement. That's so scary to me. I definitely don't fit that mold, but it's good to know there's places for me in the world. Somewhere else.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. And what made you pick Spain? Like, the world's this big.
Right. You know what? Well, I definitely had dreams to be in Europe and to get to know Europe. And then also I do have a love of Spanish. And in school, I minored in Spanish. So I had been taking Spanish since like my sophomore year of high school all the way up to my senior year of college. And I wanted to become fluent. So I said, you know, I want to just go abroad and like, I know I want to live abroad. And the opportunity came up through a classmate who joined a program to go to Spain. But it was like during the recession where things were kind of rough economically in Spain. And basically he was going to do like the teaching English abroad for the government. It was going to be a government program. And they sent him a letter going, hey, so you know how we were going to be paying you once a month? Well, because of our economic status, you're not going to get your pay till like 3 months later. And he was like, what? I was banking on that. Like, I need that paycheck to survive. So he ended up changing his program and going to Colombia, and he's still there. He's been there ever since. And after that, I went to his going away party, and that's when I found out that these opportunities to like teach English abroad like existed. I never really knew how to get in. And I said, you know what? I want to do that. I want to be in Spain, but I don't want to have any issues of like wondering if my paycheck's going to come in. So I looked up a program that does the same thing as the government one does. And I found a private one, and they send you to like private Catholic schools. But because it's smaller, it's like, oh, I just made sure there was going to be no issues with the pay. And, you know, and I like the fact that most of their placements were in Madrid, which is the city I knew I wanted to be in. So I guess, yeah, why Spain? I mean, because it's in Europe and they speak Spanish. That's the short story. I just, while living in Spain, it was so easy to just, oh, let me hop on a plane to Italy. Let me hop on a plane to Ireland. And there's an airline called Ryanair, which is like Spirit Airlines. It's like, you know, it's only based throughout Europe, and it's like the cheap airlines, you know. And it's like, yeah, there's some complaints about it, but you're only sitting on that plane for like an hour or 2 hours because everything's so close in Europe. So it was so like I would have like a 3-day weekend from teaching at the school, and it's like, okay, I'm going to France. Okay, I'm going to Italy. So I definitely took advantage like while I was living there to see as much as I could.
That's smart. Oh my goodness, that's like going from one language to another language over the weekend in an hour. That's so cool. That's really helpful. Thanks for the tip about the airline. I'm wondering if to end this, to conclude here, because we've gone over a little bit, but one travel tip from each of you. If you, Candace, if you want to add another one, because you did just give us one, but give us one travel tip, since y'all are experts compared to me. So let us have it.
Okay. Okay, so one travel tip I would recommend is if you are going to a destination, whether that's for a weekend or a week or however long, I recommend that you connect with the locals. You connect with the locals and do what the locals do. You can go to this nice fancy resort and be on a beach,
and that's okay too.
And that's okay, and enjoy it. But you know, there's nothing like getting a taste of the real authentic culture. What do the people live day in and day out? And I want to partake in that. And you know, when you are open to that, like, the connection will happen. I mean, effortlessly, time after time after time, when we've traveled to different countries, we've connected with the locals, and you just kind of open yourself, and next thing you know, they're inviting you places, and they're excited to show you their beautiful country, and they're excited to show you around and taste this cuisine, and you know, this is the real stuff. So you get the best of the best. And so I really recommend connecting with the locals, but in doing so, that requires you to maybe step out of your comfort zone a little bit and be social. Like, if you're in that country and you know just a little bit of Spanish, strike up a little conversation with the local and in Spanish as best as you can, you know, and just show interest in them and their country, and you'll see it'll be really exciting to see what you get into.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. That's really good information. That is really good. Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess, okay, so my best travel tip, it has to do with travel, but it doesn't. So what I want to say is, it's easy to put off traveling. It's easy to say, I'll travel when I have this much money. I'll travel when work gives me the time. I'll travel when, but if we wait for those opportunities, that's just like not going to happen. Like, my travel tip is make your travels happen, because it can be affordable, and plan ahead for it. If you plan ahead, you take those days off, you put away a little bit, you figure out, it doesn't have to be so costly, you know, to have an amazing time. There are good deals out there. So I used to think that, oh, you have to be like rich to travel. Like, I found an opportunity to do a work travel thing. I did it. I was getting paid, but I also was like it was the time of my life. I was like, I felt like every day was vacation, you know? So whether you do it that way, where if it's a summer, you're teaching English abroad, or you plan like a year ahead and you know you're going to make this happen, but it just takes being intentional and like budgeting and just make it happen. Don't wait for it to happen.
Good. That's solid advice. That is solid advice. I love it. Thank you both for sharing those tips and everything else you shared with us today. I'm going to do my closing, and then if you had any encouragement, even about, you know, your social justice or anything else that you're passionate about that we didn't touch on, please share it. But I just want to thank everybody who tuned in today here on Diversity Chats, where we bridge the gaps of diversity and destroy ignorance before it destroys another life. And I thank you, Maria. Thank you, Candace. Maria, Maria's in the red hat. Candace is with no hat. Just in case anybody's wondering. So thank you, ladies, for joining us today and informing us on a little bit of your lives. We really appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to share? And also, I didn't catch whose name it was, but they asked it what languages you learned while you're traveling.
Oh, good question. I learned Spanish, so I'm fluent in Spanish. And I'm working on the other languages, but I would like to learn French and Portuguese. Maybe I'll get to Italian one day. And Maria's working on her Spanish.
I'm working on it, one at a time. But that is my priority. Yes.
Yeah. I tried Duolingo and I just couldn't stick with it, but I'm trying Spanish too. And did you guys have any encouragement to share here at the closing of Diversity Chat?
Wow. I love that, this is all about diversity, right? And so I want to encourage everybody to embrace the uniqueness of who they are, and that you don't fit in a box, that you're not cookie cutter, and you have a voice, use it, express it, tap into it, explore it, because you are a gift to this world, and the diversity in you is important and it matters. And so you have many giftings that you may not even be tapped into. So I want to encourage you to explore, that little voice in your head that says, I like to sing, but I'm shy. Well, you know what? Explore that. We love to dance, just all of the beautiful things that make you. We encourage you to go all in and be that expression of who you're meant to be. Yes, I think she said it all, but I will just say your diversity chat show on IG Live is encouraging. Yes. So you are encouragement. Just the fact that you bring these conversations to the table. I love that. And thank you so much for having us. And you're amazing. Yes.
Bless you both. Bless you both. Thank you for your kind words and for your time. I hope to see you around and start doing some more IG Lives, encouraging.
Yes.
I'll see you.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take care. Thank you, everybody. Bye.